think the future is going to be kinder and gentler than the present. Cryonics is another medical procedure as far as I'm concerned. We keep the person in storage as long as necessary. I'm thinking that within 50 to 100 years, people will start being recovered from this process. People will be rejuvenated to a youthful condition and any disease they have cured.
Yes, you heard it right. Many people believe that they can come back to life in future after death with the help of cryonics technology. Hello guys, I am Dev and you are watching Veda means science. Now let's dive into the cryonics technology. Know some crazy facts about cryonics, from where it came from, the future of cryonics, and let's try to understand, is cryonics a science or a pseudoscience from scientific and ethical perspective. If you have not subscribed yet, do like, subscribe and press the bell icon to get notified. To know better about cryonics, first you have to understand cryopreservation. If we divide the term cryopreservation, cryo plus preservation. Preservation means to carefully holding something for future use. Cryopreservation means preserving something with the help of cryo. Cryo is a combining form used like a prefix meaning icy cold frost. Cryopreservation or cryoconservation is a process where biological materials like cells, tissues or organs are frozen to preserve the material for an extended period of time. At low temperatures, typically -80° to -196° Celsius using liquid nitrogen. Basically, cryopreservation stops the cell metabolism process and prevents the cell from aging. Cryopreservation technique is used in seed banks to preserve the seeds for hundreds of years. Cryopreservation is an effective way to transport biological samples over long distances. Tardigrades is a multicellular microscopic organism shows natural cryopreservation. For some extent, you can compare it with hibernation or winter sleeping of frogs and bears, where metabolism process was suppressed. But there are many differences between cryopreservation and hibernation. In cryopreservation, there is an use of cryoprotectants. Like in tardigrades, trehalose, a special type of sugar, is naturally used as cryoprotectant. But in case of hibernation, there is no such use of cryoprotectants. Now, let's try to understand what is cryoprotectant. You guys already knew when you freeze water to ice, the volume increases. In a shell, there is 70 to 90% water. When you freeze a cell, the water inside that cell becomes ice and the volume increases, then the cell bursts. To prevent that, cryoprotectants acts as a savior. Scientist replaces the water inside the cell with cryoprotectant. So, when the rapid cooling occurs, there is no ice crystal formation inside the cell. This process is also called vitrification. Vitrification is one of the most important part of cryonics. Now comes today's most important topic. What is cryonics? Cryonics is the low temperature freezing and storage of human remains, with the speculative hope that resurrection may be possible in future. According to alcor.org, a leading organization in cryonics, cryonics is the practice of preserving life by pausing the dying process using sub-freezing temperatures. Cryonics is regarded with skepticism within the mainstream scientific community. It is generally viewed as a pseudoscience. Cryonics procedures can begin only after the patients are clinically and legally dead. Before the resurrection of a dead person, let's try to understand what actually death is. Our understanding of death continues to evolve. Death used to be when a person's heart stopped, but nowadays, medical science can immediately restart the heart by CPR and electric shock. At present time, death is only permanent when the structures encoding memory and personality necessary for consciousness have become so disrupted that it becomes theoretically impossible to recover the person. This is called information theoretic death. Death is a process, not an on-off switch. It takes time to die. Here comes cryonics. It pauses the dying process of individual cells by keeping its biological structure intact. According to cryonicist, life can be stopped and restarted if its basic structures can be preserved. 0 hours. Legal death. The cryopreservation process should begin as soon as a dying person experiences cardiac arrest and can be declared legally dead. 0 to 2 hours. Stabilization. Blood circulation and breathing are artificially restored temporarily to protect the brain, and so protective medications can be administered intravenously. The patient is then cooled in an ice bath and their blood is replaced with an organ preservation solution. 1 to 24 hours. Perfusion. Cryoprotectants are perfused into the bloodstream to reduce and even prevent freezing. Uncontrolled freezing would cause damage to the blood vessels, brain, and other organs. Perfusion prepares the patient for cryopreservation. Future. Revival. No cryonics organization can currently revive a cryopreserved patient, but cryonicists are confident that with the help of advanced nanotechnology and other future medical technologies, they can revive the dead organisms in future. Frankly speaking, at present time, it is better to say God knows what will happen to these bodies. The first corpse to be cryogenically frozen was that of James Bedford in 1967. As of 2014, about 250 bodies had been cryopreserved in United States, and 1500 people had made arrangement for cryopreservation for their corpse. The cost of cryonics: $28,000 to $200,000 for various parts, organisms, or whole body. Is cryonics ethical? The most important ethical concern in cryonics is legitimacy, or the lack thereof. People are trusting scientists and engineers to revive their frozen bodies in future. This is an enormous amount of faith in our advancement of biomedical technologies. What if assurance of resurrection is a false hope? It is not a guarantee or warranty, it is just a hope. Who is to say that patients in suspended animation are rightfully treated? In 50 years, all of that patient's immediate relatives would have long gone. Even if a facility gives their assurance of proper care for all their patients, how can they be trusted? The cost of cryonics is huge. This means wealthy people only have chance to try cryonics. In an overpopulated world with finite resources, it will be an extremely selfish act. In my opinion, if cryonics and resurrection of people become true, then many young people who are suffering from something will try to kill themselves temporarily and let their body be cryogenically freezed just to get a second chance in their life in future. Political society from future might forbid the resurrection. Future people who may or may not want to open that biological time capsule from history for some reasons and others. At present time, cryonics sounds like crazy. It is generally viewed as a pseudoscience and its practice has been characterized as quackery. But in the past, science always made impossible sounding things possible. As Elvin notes in
Fee Berry
By the power of truth, I, while living, have conquered the universe.
if cryonics is a viable means of life extension and cure, then it allows people to continue a fulfilling life. Future will tell. Cryonics is a medicine for second life or just a modern day mummy.